Hello everyone and welcome back to Meccano Creations. In this video I am going to show you this beautiful Meccano Treehouse. But before we move ahead, I would request you to take the time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Your support means a lot. Do follow me on Facebook and Instagram as well for updates regarding my upcoming projects. Coming back to today's video, so this is a theme I wanted to experiment with for some time now. And I had also seen one of the Lego tree houses which I thought was extremely beautiful. So I wanted to give it a go and see how Meccano adapts to a theme such as this. So let's talk about the size and the scale of this model first. So it is quite large when you compare it to my previous diorama project. So in case you want to check out this diorama project, click on the top right. The link will be in the description as well. So this model is built on a 1 feet by 1 feet base and it's around 20 inches tall. The scale was defined by the size of the smallest detail that I wanted to replicate in the treehouse. So for me, I really wanted to have this window on the top of the hut. So that defined the overall size of the hut, and then the size of the tree and the other things followed. Overall, the scale allowed me the freedom to build a few more details in terms of the stairs and some of the other props which I will come to in this video. While building the tree, I was initially in two minds on how thick the base of the tree should be. I did not want it to look very thin. However, the proportions should match with the hut, so I went with a thicker trunk. So this will help support the weight of all the branches and just allow me some room to build the hut and the rest of the features onto this model. The main branches are made from regular perforated strips. I have tried to make the shapes as random as possible. The other sub branches are made out of narrow strips to which the leaves are attached, and this helps to give it more variety and look realistic. The leaves are made out of narrow strips. I didn't want a very heavy foliage as I wanted the hut to be clearly visible. So I kept it very limited and tried to space it out so that when you view it from the top you see enough foliage, but you will be able to see a clear view of the hut as well. After finishing the tree, I colored it with acrylic paint. I have used raw sienna mixed with a small amount of black to paint this tree. Once the first layer had dried, I put another round of thin black wash and then dry brushed some sap green to give it a bit of variety. After all the colors had dried, I put some acrylic gloss medium to cover the entire tree so it gives a bit of a shine. The leaves have various shades of green in them to give it a realistic look. I put on a couple of coats on top as well as underneath, which proved somewhat difficult to do. So maybe next time I will paint it before fixing onto the branches. The base of the tree is made from angle girders and flat plates. I put in some extra girders around the center to give it some strength and to take the entire weight of this model. I colored it again with a mix of shades of green and yellow. I used a dabbing sponge to blend out the colors and I feel it looks very nice once the gloss medium is brushed onto it. The hut is the main piece of this model obviously. I am really happy with the design as well as the look I have been able to create in this model. It has a unique kind of slanted wall design which I wanted to go for. It also has these windows on the top and on the sides which I feel looks nice. There is not much details in terms of the interior of the hut. It has a bed for the visitors and a nice little picture frame fixed onto the walls. So this is the same picture that I made for the Moonlight Ridge Forest Hut project. You can check it out on my channel, the link will be in the description. Once the hut was built along with the tree, I started to think about the coloring aspect for this hut. I ultimately went for the wooden finish and it turned out just as I liked it to be. The base of it is a reddish orange which I mixed using yellow and red acrylic color. You have to mix in the red a little bit of a time to control the shade of the orange. It has to be more reddish than yellow. So once that is done, I painted the entire hut with it. After the first layer had dried, I gave it a wash using burnt umber mixed with water. It has to be very thin and light so that the base color is predominant. The wash is basically to replicate the natural texture of wood. The same technique was used for the stairs and the platforms as well. To highlight the slanted design of the walls, I put some burnt umber again on the sides, the entrance as well as the windows to basically distinguish these features of the hut. Once everything had dried up, I again put in some acrylic gloss medium to protect the paint and give it a glossy effect. I have also designed a ramp and stairs for the visitors to enter and exit this treehouse. It has 3 platforms connected by stairs and ramps, and each one has a proper fence around it. The first stair is wider, being the main entrance, and is equipped with railings. These railings are basically plastic straws which are part of the Toycraft metal construction sets that we have in India. So these straws are really useful as they come with this connector which has the same hole diameter as the Meccano parts. Now to add realism to this entire model, I have added plenty of details. The first one being the seating area. I have made a bench out of Meccano where the visitors can have their meals, and all of the food items you see on the top are actually made out of epoxy clay. So I used the epoxy compound from Fevicryl company, and this is something I experiment with in this model. And I have built numerous objects from it, not just the food items, but you can see that I have created an entire campfire and another seating area all out of epoxy clay. There are a few details in and around the tree as well. I have custom made this nameplate for this treehouse with epoxy clay compound, and it has a base to it, so you can just put it anywhere you want. There is also a rubber tired swing which are quite popular around treehouses, so the kids can swing in it. There is also a small plant which is placed in a pot, and again this is completely made out of epoxy clay. I have also made a food basket which can be passed onto the top of the treehouse using a crane. I think with a bit of experience, this can add a lot of details and realism to your model and enhances play value. So this is something I am going to experiment with more going forward, and maybe I will try to build some human figures with different poses and see how it goes. So this is one idea that probably Lego sets are way better than Meccano was. It adds these details and customized parts to every set, which the owners can play with and really enhances the quality of the entire product. Since Meccano doesn't have that, we can compensate by building it ourselves using epoxy or any other clay medium. The last but not the least is the small crane that we can operate to get things in and out of the tree quickly without physically using the stairs every time. The crane can also be turned on its base to control its position. So that brings us to the end of this review for this treehouse project. I hope you have enjoyed and liked what I have built. I have also personally enjoyed a lot building this, and with each project I try to bring new elements, new themes to just demonstrate that Meccano is capable of being much more than just cars and trains. And of course, if you have skills like clay modeling, that can complement what you have built in Meccano. Thanks for visiting. Till we meet next time, goodbye and take care.